Do you remember the game Telephone? You and the other players would form a line, and the first player would come up with a secret sentence. They would then whisper to the next player, who would whisper to the next, and so on. The last player would tell everyone what they heard, and the first player would say the original sentence to see how well they had done. Ignoring the fact that there was always at least one player trying to add some flair to the message, I always thought it was remarkable how bad we did. Even just trying to pass a simple sentence along, we would lose details, change names, and totally lose the plot. Even when we try to honestly convey information, not just repeat a phrase in whispers, humans miscommunicate a lot. It can be a problem, but it can also be really entertaining. Most of the funniest stories I've ever heard are 100% not true. We like legends, and accuracy isn't what makes them spread. It's really interesting to watch a story change as people lose the context. And the more people it passes through, the more distortion. With all the talk about AI and machine learning this year, and my own tests with different algorithms, I came up with a very strange question. Does this telephone problem of misdescribing and misinterpreting apply to AI systems just as much as it does humans? What happens if a couple of AI systems play telephone? Now, does this answer any meaningful questions about AI and machine learning? No. Does it answer my own 3 a.m. urge to watch some AI models spiral into chaos with a relatively simple prompt? Absolutely. Let's proceed. So here's the setup. I want to see how well a few AI models do at understanding and redescribing a concept to each other. My version of AI telephone is simple. We'll start with a prompt. In this case, let's start simple and make it cat. Player 1 generates a picture of a cat with StableDiffusion, an image model capable of taking arbitrary text and generating some really amazing images. That image is going to represent their mental model for the topic. Could I have just had a few chatbots talk to each other? Yeah, but where's the fun in that? Next, we'll use Clip Interrogator, an image captioning model, and ChatGPT, a powerful chatbot model, to attempt to describe the image to the next player using new words. For once, the nonsense that ChatGPT can occasionally spit out has a good purpose. Player 1 will pass their description of the image to player 2, and the process will repeat. I'm starting out with 10 players, but in some of these tests, the original idea won't even make it close to that far. Let's play. Round 1. We start off with a really nice image of a cat, and then we ask Clip and ChatGPT to describe that cat. The first round is relatively tame. It's a cute cat lying on the floor with green eyes, flushed cheeks, and a feeling of cry, whatever that means. The second image that we generate off that prompt is totally reasonable. It's a pretty cute cat lying on the floor with green eyes. Let's continue. Okay, so we take that image, we describe it, we end up with a pretty simple prompt, relatively similar to the first one. Here I should note that, yes, these descriptions are longer than the original prompt of cat, because Clip and ChatGPT are explaining an image. They're not necessarily involved with the original prompt, so things can quickly get out of hand here. And the description only has a few strange details. Neon lenses measuring 24 millimeters. It seems the tone of the cat has changed from sad and melancholy to an attack, a stalking position, with the eyes of an android. We'll take our android cat prompt and go ahead and generate the next image. Again, entirely reasonable, a beautiful black cat with green eyes. Although this time it's decided we need vivid ultraviolet colors and a green tone. But it's an iOS icon now, and it's Matrix themed, so I guess that's interesting. As we continue, we start to hallucinate a bit. The AI app named Greenie mentioned here is entirely not real. But now we're giving the cat names, which I very much appreciate. So they've named it Cloning Spell, Watcher, Lime, or Zoomy. So let's generate Cloning Spell. Okay, Cloning Spell is once again a great image. We haven't really broken from our original cat. This cat is a portrait of Cleopatra in deep space, and it serves as a Discord profile picture. The story is getting much more complicated, but the image is remaining relatively normal. We keep going, we see that now the cat symbolizes AI app's defense with a touch of magic. Really a strange direction to take all this, but I'm curious to see where it goes. Okay, now we have a rave cat, which I guess is a cool topic, but at the end of this sequence in our last round, we still have a normal looking cat. And that's a major surprise to me. Here they all are together. Here's the sequence from our original little sad cat all the way out to our rave cat at the very end of the line. Now it's almost disappointing how well this went, so we're going to make it a lot harder for the system. Let's tell a more complicated story. A space cowboy grilling steaks next to a flag on the moon. And the first picture is actually pretty beautiful. Got the space cowboy, we've got a grill fired up. I really don't see the steaks, but they got the flag in there. I'm really excited about this first image. Let's see how it's described. Well, apparently they're hot dogs, not steaks. And there's bass music, and somehow there's a fusion of presidential and camping vibes, which I don't understand what that means, but I will work very hard to get you an answer on that topic. So the image we get out is still pretty much what we asked for. Spaceman on the moon cooking. This is where things go off the rails a bit. The description is relatively okay, minus the line surrounded by sausages. It's a nostalgic representation of old internet art. But what we end up with is a Wallace and Gromit-like three-eyed Wall-E figure on the moon. It's a little terrifying. Let's give this a couple more rounds and see if it can recover. We've got Spaceman, robot cartoon characters, yet now we have Ronald McDonald in the mix. This doesn't appear to be going the direction I would like it to. Okay, we've returned to normal a bit. We called out Buzz Lightyear, which I love. Now we're just ending up with a space theme. It can't get any weirder. Okay, it got weirder. Apparently, ChatGPT thinks this was created by Andrew Tate. Still a cool picture, but it is nothing like what we asked for coming into this. And somehow it's dreamlike Stanley Kubrick pop surrealism, so I think we've lost the plot here. Altogether, the images are kind of fun, but they quickly diverged from the original prompt, so I don't think we can call this one a success. Well, what do you do when you fail? Try something way harder and see how badly you fail. Final prompt. A dinner party where all the guests are wearing cowboy hats. There should also be a panda in a top hat and a dog playing a guitar. It should be decorated for Christmas. You know, simple prompt. So here's all the images together. I had to remove some as I really didn't think that YouTube would allow them on their platform. The first image is pretty good. It's a dinner party. We've got people in cowboy hats. We've got some Christmas lighting to give us our decoration. And we've got a bear at the table, wearing a hat. Now, I don't see a dog playing a guitar, but otherwise this is pretty solid. And the first image out of the gate was an absolute terrifying bit of nightmare fuel. Somehow it attached onto the bear in the original image as the most important topic, and you see the results of that here. We're going to look at a couple of the descriptions along the way that might help explain why this got so weird so fast. We went from a dinner party to bear creatures to plastic bears to bodybuilders to a knight. Okay, so we've got a group of anthropomorphic characters, and that's obviously going to lead to some Five Nights at Freddy's kind of stuff. Beaver came out of nowhere, cowboy dog, mare. I mean, now we have a horse, but we maintained the Western influences. The cowboy hats were carried through, at least in the early stages. So now we've got 3 bears, we've decided on a number, and it's a part of a gastronomy magazine, featuring barbecue nachos and mukbang. Okay, we're definitely off the rails, but I can't let this go without seeing where we end up. So now we've got a bear with armor-like arms, I believe this is the description of uh, Dwayne the Bear Johnson in the middle bottom. Imposing presence, genetically engineered cartoon animal. Yeah, we've entirely lost the plot. This one is surprising to me. A bear in a sci fi armor enjoys a hearty breakfast from a bowl while wearing a golden cat armor knight outfit. Now, I looked up golden cat armor knight outfit to see if maybe this was something you can buy or something I had just not heard of, and I found that it absolutely is not. So, what have I learned from all this? I think my main takeaway from this extremely strange experiment is that the description system is just unable to produce accurate enough descriptions of the image. The number of descriptors that Clip Interrogator can place on an image is relatively limited, and ChatGPT tends to add chaos if not enough information is provided. Simple ideas like cat stay simple, while complicated ideas just get morphed and multiplied in any unexpected direction. And I kind of like that. It's definitely a lot more extreme than the distortion to the phrase in human telephone or conversation, but it produces some interesting results. I'm curious what prompts you would like to see tried with this setup. Leave a comment below if you have an idea for a phrase, and I'll try to run it and make a video to show you what happens. I think I'm also going to try for a much larger number of rounds to see how far off base this story can get. Subscribe to my channel to see more AI machine learning experiments and follow along with what other strange storylines this system is going to kick out. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.